Good evening from Rupp Arena, where Kentucky just beat LSU in the SEC home opener 74-71, despite Doug Show's best efforts to change the outcome of the game. Here with Jack Pilgrim, Zach Gagan. We're all positive tonight, except for the last few minutes. Got a little closer than it should have been as Kentucky failed to cover the spread for an 8th straight game. They did get another big game from Jacob Toppin. That's 2 in a row. And Calipari went to his shortest rotation we've seen this season, playing only 7 guys all night. 2 of them, Casey Wallace and Oscar Tshiebwe, playing all 40 minutes each. Jack Pilgrim, I'll start with you. Do you want to go positive with Toppin and the things they did well, or you want to talk about reverting to stall ball there at the end and trying to give it away?
You know, I think the last 10 minutes kind of ties perfectly in with the first 30 because, for my money, it was the best we've seen Kentucky play the first 30 minutes of the game. The pace was perfect. The ball movement was incredible. The energy was fantastic. Body language was amazing. They were standing up, cheering from the bench. I absolutely loved every second of it. It was the best start I've seen Kentucky have all season. And then there were the last 10 minutes. And I don't know what happened. Cal went with his grinded out offense. He's been talking all week about playing deliberately and trying to find a balance between grinding things out and playing fast. And I think he definitely went with the former quite heavily. And it resulted in long stretches, 4-minute stretches, 2 of them where Kentucky didn't score a single point, allowed for LSU to get back in it in a game that really they had no business being in. It should have been a 10-plus point victory. Could have been an easy cover for the Cats. Unfortunately, things got rough there at the end, but LSU is a team that has done very well there at the end of games. So at least you get a win against a team that has thrived in that situation.
I still don't really know what deliberate means in this case. That Cal's used it. He said it a lot again in this post-game press conference. But you're right about just how they started. Finally having fun again. You even took a picture of the bench just because I think it was the first time all year they were standing up, cheering on their teammates and celebrating good plays. I really thought rebounding was a big reason Kentucky played so well. Oscar with some early second chance points. I mean, LSU, they had nothing inside rebounding. I think.
Did they double them up? Is that
they got it a little closer at the end. Ended up 31-22. It was doubled for a lot of the game, though. I think the 3 of us could have rebounded about as well as LSU, but that was really helpful in Kentucky's chances early on when they did stretch it out to a big lead. And Zach, I'll let you be the one to brag on Jacob Toppin, 9 of 13 from the field tonight. Done it twice in a row. Is there really something to him getting out of this dark place he was in?
I think so. He even said in the post-game press conference, someone asked him, is it something you're doing different on court? And he said, no, it's literally just mental. I finally have just, kind of figured out how I need to act around, off the court, on the court in general. So he was really high energy all game long. Like you said, 9 for 13, 21 points. So what's that, 45, my math? 45 in the last 2 games for Jacob Toppin. Yeah, I'm getting there. Let me look over here for a second. 45 points in 2 games for Jacob Toppin. And another monster night, obviously, for Oscar as well. I'll look here. Jacob Toppin, yes, finally showed off some of his flair. He had a really cool reverse layup that he finished on the other end. Had a couple of really nice dimes, one that he just dished down low to Oscar that I don't know how made it through, but it just ended up working out perfectly for him. So it just appears to be all mental with Jacob. And if this is just going to be how he plays the rest of the way, Kentucky is a completely different team. Oscar obviously was great again tonight. Sahvir Wheeler, I think he had 6 rebounds, 9 assists, 11 points as well. So a really steady game from him outside of maybe the last 10 minutes or so that Jack has kind of alluded to. And the last 4 minutes especially were not really particularly great. I think the last 4 possessions for UK used up 29 seconds of the shot clock, got bad shots. 2 of them happened to go in because Jacob Toppin just drilled a corner 3, hesitated, but then went up for it. And I don't think that's even said that's a shot that he wouldn't make 10 days ago. So very positive vibes from Jacob and Oscar. Kaysen was all right. Like you said, the short rotation, he literally just played the same 5 guys pretty much the entire second half. Reed played maybe a minute. So there's my good notes. I don't know if anyone else has more good notes.
Well, Toppin's 3 came with a minute and a half to go. He went 1 for 1. We like it. But I'm still of the camp. I mean, he took that because he had to, because they had run the shot clock down. Kentucky cannot count on a Wheeler 3 and a Toppin 3 late in games when they're just giving leads away. It worked tonight, so it's hard to criticize, but if that's the strategy moving forward, that's tough to count on those 2 shots.
I will say, I started out a little negative, but I will say I was very impressed with what Coach Cal had to say after the game. He was held himself accountable. The first thing he sits down, he says, look, we're not perfect, but we're making progress because what we've seen to start the year, it has been 40 minutes of hell. This was at least 10 minutes of hell. We are making active progress. He said, look, we've been working on tempo. We've been working on, figuring out pace and those sorts of things. I think he was very happy with where things were in that regard. And then he said, and then close things out, it was not acceptable. We got to figure out who has the ball with 8-9 seconds left on the shot clock. Those guys do not need to have the ball. He said, but it's all fixable. We are struggling in that regard, but we'll get it fixed. We'll get things changed. So I at least appreciated the accountability on his end where he said, look, we started out very, very bad. Now we're just a little bit bad there to close out the game. So I did appreciate the growth that he had in that regard.
And it was nerve-wracking, and it was quite a disaster. But really, if Livingston, a freshman, just doesn't foul on the three. I mean, Cal looked like he wanted to kill him, as he should. I know that was not part of Cal's coaching there. Just a complete rookie mistake by him. If that doesn't happen, we don't sweat it out as much. Same with Wheeler missing the front end of the free throw. I didn't love that Cal went to him. I think he's only taken 2 free throws in the last month. Cal said he was shocked he missed it. The way this team's been closing games, I don't know that everyone was shocked he missed it, but really you avoid 2 of those mistakes, and it's not what it should have been. But still, at the very end, you're thinking LSU's got a chance in these final seconds.
Yeah, the free throw shooting overall was better. I think Oscar missed a pair very early on, and I don't know if the team missed, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Drew, but I don't think the team missed maybe 1 or 2 free throws outside of the Sahvir.
11 for 14 for the game.
So they missed those 2 from Oscar, and then Sahvir's down the stretch. So, overall, that was a good performance. I think Oscar ended up going maybe 6 for 8 or something like that. And then Jacob hit 2 clutch ones that pretty much, gave them a 3-point lead. LSU I don't even think they got off a 3. It was like his toe inside the line at the end there. And then Cal in the post-game press conference was kind of fiery.
Yeah,
kind of really
sassy.
Yeah,
sassy
kind of like
tonight.
pounding your fist type Cal. And when you talked about Livingston's fouled 3-pointer, I don't think I've seen Cal really. He was seething when he was even in the post-game press conference talking about that. So, yeah, still some rookie mistakes. Chris Livingston played 29 minutes. He really didn't have that much productivity, but Cal still really liked what he saw from him. So, if he's going to be part of the 5-man rotation, we'd like to see him do more than 5 points and 1 rebound. But I think a good night overall and a win is a win.
Might I add, we are however many minutes we are into this, and we haven't even really talked in depth about Oscar Tshiebwe's 19 and 16, and I think it's just absolutely insanity that we have a player that good, that caliber, who continues to dominate basketball the way he is, and does it yet again tonight, and he is, subject 6 in this show. So, AJ
Williams is a man, too. That's a big boy.
Always a pleasure to see what Oscar can do on the floor.
Williams called it like a lifetime experience just playing against Oscar. Found that interesting. Did Cal call Oscar a liar in the press conference? He seemed to really.
He didn't call him a truther.
We've all been talking about positive Cal, nice Cal, new year, new me Cal. He kind of said, everyone shut up with this. I'm still mean and don't think I'm
positive.
Went
out of his way to talk about how mean he
It felt
was.
very intentional. He was wanting Russ to really know that he's not positive Cal like Oscar suggested. That's been a talking point all week, but apparently Cal wants us to shut up about it.
Cal, Oscar said after Louisville that you and he had talked about you being, I guess, more positive towards some of
That's not true. I don't know who told you that. No.
Seen as the coddling coach, he wants to be seen as the uplifting coach. So just trying to watch his words more carefully.
He said his difference that he's been doing is, instead of just yelling at them on the court when they do something wrong, just ignoring it and telling them after the game. So I think that's part of, you don't see him out here yelling and screaming because he's probably going to do it tomorrow during practice or the next day, whenever it is. So if that's, I'm perfectly fine with it because the bench was fiery. Cal was into the game. He damn near got a tech when Doug Shows decided to make the game about him. So
Doug, number 1 trending topic in America tonight.
Objectively terrible at his job.
I'm not sure. I don't know if he called a foul on Kaysen or if it was a lane violation. Either
it was a foul.
Either were wrong. If either call was wrong. So I'm not sure what happened there. There was maybe a 7-point swing at one point where Doug Shows made 2 really big calls. So.
Yeah, right when Kentucky was pulling away, too. Let LSU right back in it.
Last take from me, scrimmaging before games. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's the day before, he said.
Cal says it's a bad thing, but he's still going to do it. So.
I'm for it. I like it.
I'm for it.
Whatever. Something seems to be working. They're getting better and better. It's not perfect. Cal asked for patience again, but at least they're improving. Jacob Toppin seems to have found his game again. The players are having fun for the first time in forever. And on Saturday, they're going to Alabama. That will certainly be a tough game. Zach, you're going. Are you ready to get down there around the Tide and hopefully see Kentucky pull off a big road win in the SEC?
I actually am. I've never been to Tuscaloosa. I've heard great things about the campus environment. So I'm ready to kind of explore around and hopefully come back with a win. I'll bring one home. My first road game for us this year, so I'm ready.
Oh, well, don't come back without it. We're going to shut down from here. For now, it's Drew, Jack, and Zach, and I guess we want Bama.